I'm going to give the floor to you here. Kansas, a 1-point favorite in Waco at Baylor, 4 p.m. Eastern Time tip on ESPN. We have great matchups here to discuss, not only with the 2 games we've already hit on, but the rest of the way. Rock Chalk, potentially favored. We'll see how the market shifts here. As you said, home teams generally get a little bit of tax. Maybe Baylor closes as a favorite. But how are you handicapping this big Big 12 matchup?
Let's go Bears is how I'm handicapping it. So Baylor's been bad by their standards, right? Just lost at BYU, have losses to Arizona on the road by 10, 11 points, lost at home to TCU. And that's all within the last 2.5 weeks. Not great. Did get a big road win against Arizona State. Every road win in the conference is important. Won that by 6. Cincinnati, they beat. I was on them to do that. Cincinnati's kind of been a little bad. Lost at Iowa State. We saw they sort of got suffocated. That's what happens when you go into Iowa State. But I think there's a really big buy spot. I mean, you still got Coach Drew's one of the best. All the numbers look incredible. The offense-defense combo is the only one in shot quality that's both top 10 in the nation. They are just not getting very lucky at all. Their entire offense, all the regression arrows pointing up. They're shooting 51% at the rim in Big 12 play, expect to be shooting 56%. Shooting 34% from 3, expect to be shooting 38%. Shooting 32% from the mid-range. 32%. That is so atrocious. They expect to be shooting 42%. Look, Omier, VJ Edgecombe, defensive foundation that when this team starts to play well and isn't missing all their shots and creating bad game scripts for themselves, I think you're gonna be like, where has this Baylor team been all year? And it's because they're not really engineered to lose. They're engineered to win. They're engineered to look good. They're engineered to go to the top. And I still think you can buy in pretty low on them. They have the same diagnostics that made me start chirping about Louisville before I think anyone else was. I got plenty of 120 to 1. You can find this 80, 70 now. I think Baylor's similar. They're gonna wake up a bit. They're not really in all that much concern for missing the tournament, but this is a big, big potential for a home win to put them back on the map. You beat Kansas. And again, Kansas a little bit lucky. That loss against Houston was big, expected to win, but they've had plenty of expected losses down the line there. A couple early ones in the season. They beat Duke. They beat TCU. Interesting team for Kansas. I think the rim attack is as dangerous as it gets, but the fact is that I think this defense that Scott Drew has is gonna muck up the works. They don't get to the free throw line enough. They play bad defense against threes, and guess what? Baylor can shoot. This is the perfect buy low spot. Will likely be one of my biggest plays of the weekend.
Love it. A couple notes for me, and I do lean Baylor for sure, but I want to ask you as a follow-up.
Please.
So, DeJuan Harris did practice. They actually didn't officially state it yesterday. So, he didn't play against UCF earlier in the week, and Self was hoping he practiced yesterday. Nothing official whether he did or did not. KJ Adams, Self said, likely limited in practice yesterday after being sore following the UCF win, which they arguably should have gone to overtime against. And then for Baylor, Langston Love still with ankle soreness, and Roach didn't play in that loss to BYU in concussion protocol. Do any of those potential injuries modify or maybe make you a little more hesitant, make you want to wait on the injury status? How do you go about it with all those injury notes?
Yeah, I need to see that Roach is playing, I think is the big one. I definitely want him in there. And I think, coming back from, honestly, concussion protocol and going to Provo's got to be a 1-2 punch that not enough people talk about. Oxygenated air in your brain, not getting enough of it. I don't know. Props for him to playing. He's a warrior. He's a tough kid. He'll be out there. I think he'll play a lot better in this game, honestly. And I had I had BYU. I kind of expected maybe a tough result. It was expected to be a 1-point loss, though. So maybe it was supposed to be a cover for BYU there. It was, by the hook instead. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the BYU team. I think this is about as low as a buy-in as you'll get. The defense expected to be doing better too. The live turnover rate. So yeah, as long as they have the commander in chief and Roach to pair with Edgecombe's prowess, I can't wait to see where he goes. He's going to be an NBA star, I think, in not much time. He has that type of skill, the length, the bounce, the shooting, the defense. I don't know why people don't like the NBA. It's just all the college players that were their best going and doing the craziest stuff. I know you don't. But I think it's, if you really watch it, there's some good, fun teams there. Anyway, I digress. He's going to be great. There's a lot of talent on that Baylor team. They're just slept on. I think, you wait to see if Roach plays. If Harris sits, great for us. But, I expect a grinder. Maybe if you like, maybe a multi-game parlay, the under. If Baylor's going to win, it's going to be an under. So.
Same game parlay. Love it. You can find the best odds.
First time mentioned those 3 words on this show, but yeah.
Over at TheLines.com. Similar to Ole Miss Auburn, I would highly recommend, Scott Drew, if you're watching and listening to this podcast, which we know you always do every week, just kidding, that Baylor would be very well suited to go 5 out here with Omier more so at the 5, even though they're undersized, and Celestine at the 4, because Baylor would get a ton of open looks from deep against Dickinson in drop coverage.
It's going to be that's going to be another great game. I mean, Saturday, these Saturdays are loaded. First Saturday of February, baby. We are so close.
Let's go. Can't wait to be doing those shows with you in March Madness, man. We've been doing it for a while.